Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Here we are, new week, Monday, 5 p.m. Time for, Tech 20 Facebook Live. Hope you've had a good start to your week. Good Monday, a cold Monday. It's supposed to be cold this week, and I think they're calling for another chance of rain/snow Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So winter is definitely here. 50 tomorrow, and then cold. So I hope you got your long johns and gloves and hats ready because it's going to be chilly. But that notwithstanding, let's jump in. Got some cool topics, I think, just some information to share. So hopefully it'll benefit you. First, Apple. Apple's been running deals. It seems like deals are coming out left and right for Apple products. The AirPods, not the AirPod Pros, but the AirPods on sale down to $110 on Amazon. It's the wired charging version. $10 off from the previous deal and a $50 savings off the original retail price. So good price. Yes. Also, AirPod Pros on sale for $190 on Amazon. So good prices if you need some headphones. AirPods Pros down on a great price. Check them out. Also, M1 Mac Mini. Amazon, again, selling the 512 storage, the 512 gig of storage for $829, $70 off its usual price. It's the all-time low for this config. You can also get the 256 gig storage base model for $649, which is $50 off. But just so you know, it is the M1 chip. 512 is great storage. It only has 8 gigs of memory, so it will handle most of your everyday computing stuff, but just understand that it is just 8 gigs, so it's not that beefy. And there's just 2 Thunderbolt USB-C ports, so you may want to look to get some type of expansion device to use with it. But still, great prices, $829 for the 512 and $649 for the 256. All right, so in the new year, we're a week into February, going into the second week of February. Potential of some schools going back in session in March. But the big question is, will hybrid work? And what is it going to look like? So there's no clear answer really on how to approach this. I think every company will have to look at it differently in the construct of their business model and their clientele and their employees. But I do believe that there's going to be some form or fashion of a hybrid as productive as at work. So what does that mean? Hybrid, it's kind of a loose term. Generally speaking, it's some work at home, some work in an office. And what does that mean? Let's see. Well, what is it going to entail? Well, first is physical space. And what will that physical space look like? Should companies reduce their office footprint to accommodate hybrid work environments? Will they do some type of cube configuration? Will it be a hoteling arrangement? Which, if you don't know what that means, is you go into an office and you sit at a desk on Monday, and then tomorrow another person may come in and use that same desk while you work from home. That's hoteling. What is that? What about meetings? What happens when you have meetings where half the people are live in person and half the people are on a Zoom call, on a video call? What does that look like for team camaraderie and togetherness, the culture for the company that you're trying to figure out? What if kind of down the road, coming way out of this pandemic, if people do want to come back to the office and you've already downsized your office in favor of a hybrid work environment? What does that look like? What does it look like to have a hoteling arrangement, and if you want certain coworkers or certain people want to be in the office at the same time? Don't know. Is it impossible? No. Does it present challenges? Absolutely. Will it be a part of the normal moving forward? I absolutely believe so. And I think it will look different for every business. But will a hybrid work environment work? I believe it will. I think there's a lot of questions that every business has to handle and answer based on their business, their culture, what they want to do, where they want to save money, what's their risk tolerance for downsizing versus staying in the same environment, negotiating new leases. But I think you will see a lot more of this hybrid work environment moving forward. If you're a business owner and you're entertaining this idea, we'd love to hear what you're thinking in your comments. Post them down in the comments. Would love to have a dialogue. Again, I think it's a unique situation that many businesses have never faced. And now you have, along with the idea of COVID vaccines and mandatory vaccinations. So post in the comments. Let's talk about this. Speaking of hybrid work environments and just work in general, how about no more passwords? It's long been said that passwords are going the way of the dodo. They need to go away. It's one of the weakest pieces of a security posture. And a year ago, NordPass estimated that the average person has 70 to 80 passwords. I have a whole bunch more than that, but I know you can have a lot of passwords and they can add up very fast. Password compromises and shared secrets remain the number one cause for hacking-related breaches, which then comes back to social engineering because it's the weakest link and people just use the same password over and over again and they don't use tough passwords. But organizations are now being forced to look closely at password authentication, and they're trying to justify the cost associated with password support and reevaluating the impact on overall user experience and justifying whether the password is really doing what it was intended to do, which is protect from an online attack, and it's not happening. Passwords are antiquated. They are absolutely a cause of frustration, and they are risk drivers. We've talked about this. Organizations are starting to use what has become a trend is this passwordless authentication using technology such as biometrics, hardware tokens, cryptographic keys, and PINs to verify users. A recent report by LastPass said 92% of businesses believe passwordless authentication is the future. And in May of last year, Microsoft said that more than 150 million people were using passwordless login on Windows every month. You know, the little fingerprint or the Windows Hello. That's it. Recent reports said that by Hyper and Cybersecurity Insiders uncovers the key drivers behind this. They surveyed 425 information technology professionals, and they have, let's see, it goes in hand with the FBI reporting up to 4,000 new cybersecurity complaints per day, a 400% increase after the onset of the pandemic. That was only 1 month after COVID started. So what are the drivers? Well, security teams are prioritizing usability. Credential attacks remain the number one driver of passwordless adoption, accounting to more than 90% of survey respondents. Okay, so prioritizing usability. Push attacks, which is basically getting around multi-factor authentication. Shared secrets should not be shared. 96% of security practitioners are working to eliminate securities-based authentication. Smartphones and standards, 73% of respondents believe smartphones are the most convenient method of authentication, while 94% want to take a standards-based approach to eliminating passwords. Using authenticators. Big thing. Let's see. One passwordless login, many identities. User authentication and identity have always been tightly coupled together. Users have numerous login methods to choose from. So what does that mean? Password is becoming a game of catch-up, unfortunately. It is estimated that by 2021 or in 2021, cybercrime will cost the world $11.4 million each minute. Every 60 seconds, $11.4 million. And if you want me to break that down for you, I'm actually going to do numbers. $190,000 a second. I don't know about you. I'd like to have that kind of money, but I don't. $190,000 a second, 11.4 million every minute. Question is no longer whether to consider passwordless multi-factor authentication. It's how far are we in the deployment? It's not now staying ahead of the curve. It's playing catch up to the curve. Adoption is moving faster than initially anticipated and predicted. So let's, business owners, take a look at this. If you have any questions, let me know. We can work on passwordless authentication. There are tools out there. And I think one of the things that will potentially push us along is quantum computing. And I have said that when quantum computing matures, it's going to render the power that's in quantum computing will render a lot of the security protocols and algorithms and cryptography we have now useless because it'll be able to be broken so fast. IBM has laid out a roadmap, a software roadmap for computing, quantum computing, and they expect to have updated software interfaces and circuit libraries and control systems in place by 2023. And by 2025, IBM is projecting that there will be frictionless quantum computing to enable a broad array of applications that will surpass classical computing. This is moving forward. I talked about this a few months ago about a company that was running out quantum computing to a, I think it was a grocery store in Canada, and how it took hours and hours and hours of calculations and were able to crunch it down into to 20 minutes to 2 hours or whatever it is. There's some ridiculous compression, and it frees up so much time to run these algorithms and then apply them to your business and grow the business. Quantum computing computers are coming. And like I said, 2025, quantum computing hardware nuances won't matter to users or developers due to cloud computing and APIs. By 2030, IBM is projecting that companies and users will run billions and maybe trillions of quantum circuits a day. It's coming. In 2030, 9 years, less than 9 years now. It's not that far away. And the advances that are being made, it'll probably get here quicker than you think. Again, this could play a part in electric vehicles. Apple has been talking about electric vehicle. They had tried several years ago. They shut it down. It's getting more press that they were talking about doing it again. Apparently discussing potentially with Hyundai and Kia to build this, to work with them and to build it. So what are some of the questions potentially, which, by the way, I read an article that said that Hyundai, which would have provided the electric vehicle platform, it confirmed that conversation did take place, so it hedged a bit by saying that we understand Apple's in more discussion with a variety of global automakers, including Hyundai Motors. It's not something that is down. We'll see, but let's just talk about what if. Will it be an electric vehicle? Absolutely. Will it be called iCar, iPhone, iPad, iMac, iCar? Who knows? By the way, the project name was Project Titan. The car project was called Project Titan. How much will it cost? Who knows? But Apple products aren't cheap, so that should tell you. Who's going to make it? Again, discussions with Hyundai and Kia. That, don't know. Will it be self-driving? Probably. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? When will it arrive? A few years off, and that's if they can secure a company to build with. So you're still looking down the road. Why now? Battery technology has improved. Advancements in autonomous vehicle systems could be feasible to do it. Could it fall apart again? Yes, and maybe that is with the article talking about how Hyundai is like, went from close to pause very quickly in terms of their potential deal. Who knows? But it's out there. So maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. How would you like to go on a space trip? Well, guess what? SpaceX, inspiration for a mission. You can enter for a chance to go into space, a commercial flight into space. There is a fundraising going on. Began with the Super Bowl commercial yesterday. Congratulations, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great game. Not as much as it was hyped up to be, but still good. Jared Isaacman, he founded Shift for Payments. He has purchased a Crew Dragon mission from SpaceX for a multi-day trip around Earth. And they are going to launch a fundraising effort with monies to benefit the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So what does that mean? 4 seats on Crew Dragon. 1, Isaacman, command and pilot the mission. Boom, taken care of. 2, labeled Hope. It's going to go to a frontline healthcare worker from St. Jude. Isaacman confirmed a woman will fly as a representative for the hospital, but did not confirm identity. 3, third seat, Generosity, will go to a member of the public who donates to St. Jude. Packages include $10 for 100 entries and run all the way up to $100,000 for 10,000 entries. VIP viewing tickets and aerobatic flights and a retired Russian MiG. And 4th seat, Prosperity, will go to an entrepreneur who uses Isaacman's online shopping platform, Shift for Shop, to set up a website and share the story via Twitter. All 4 crew members will be trained for the mission directly by SpaceX, including emergency preparedness, spacesuits, spacecraft, ingress, egress, simulations at the company's headquarters. But this is kind of cool. So if you got money to burn, you want to go fly in outer space, here's your chance. Go to inspirationforward.com to purchase your entries, or go to Shift for Shop, set up a website, and share the story via Twitter. Hey, be a great story to tell your grandkids. FTC, speaking of money, FTC, Federal Trade Commission, has fined Amazon $61.7 million, settling allegations that it improperly paid or failed to properly pay out tips to its flex delivery drivers. Just another to-do. Apparently, it was a big flex drivers get paid this much. Amazon made a change. Then they were using tips to make up the difference, and they got busted. Amazon is going to pay the fine to the FTC, which will use the money to compensate drivers. Represents the full amount of money shorted drivers between 2016 and 2019. So if you were a flex driver in those years, you got money coming to you. Yeah. So I had to write about this. I saw this article and I busted out laughing. Mop slippers. Yes, on Amazon. And I wish, here's a little picture of the bottoms of them. I don't even want to try to pronounce the name. But Chenille Dust Mop Slippers. 5 pairs for $11. This person tried them out. And here's what she had to say. Slipped them onto my bare feet and discovered that these little beauties are more intelligently designed than I realized. Outside has a long pile you see pictured. The inside has rows of a finer chenille, so they're soft and soothing on my feet. They're actually reversible. Apparently, you can slide around and clean your floors at the same time. It apparently, she said, she went on her kitchen floor, which is made of wood-looking plastic, so kind of a linoleum. Did great. Hardwood did great. Tiles did great. She said she loved them so much that $11 purchase. These mop slippers are my favorite find since that mask I can actually breathe through. I slip them on each morning when I got out of bed and my feet feel warm and cared for. Throughout the day, they get me off my butt onto my feet. Instead of noting with dread a smattering of crumbs or a film of dust, I tack it on my way to check the mail or while making lunch. Kept 2 pairs for herself, sent another pair to a friend of hers. So if you are looking to, as you work from home and you're moving around, you'd like to clean your floors as you go, link to the article on Amazon, $11, 5 pairs of the Cozy Mop Slippers. Didn't say anything about it being waterproof where you can spray floor cleaner, so don't do it just like dry dust. And they apparently are washable. So, hey, check it out. What do you want to know about? Post in the comments. We'll be happy to talk about it, give you a shout out. Next Tech 20 will be Thursday, 6 p.m. Until then, stay safe. I appreciate everybody for watching, and I'll see you Thursday. Have a great week. See you then.